You here with me?
All right. Welcome everybody to the first meeting we've had since the beginning of the summer, the Edmondson Heights Civic Association community meeting. Today is September the 5th, 2023, but that goes, we never know what year it is around here. So I just needed to state that. I have, Susie, if you are not muted, I want to ask you, mute yourself, dear. Um, you talking to the birds and stuff.
All right.
So I have an agenda, but at the same time, I know that we have this a lot that's been going on this summer. So I would like to, we have several community leaders, as I'd like to call you guys, in the building, figuratively, not literally, in the building. And if you guys have something, because I want to respect your time, you may want to jump on, jump off. If you have something, let me know. I'm good with that. If you want to just kind of dip in where you see fit, that works too. But I definitely, like I said, I want to respect you guys' time. Everybody else, y'all stuck with me. So first, as I said, welcome, and I hope everybody had a good summer. I will say that I don't know why, but I heard very few racers, cars racing this summer. I don't know what that was, but I appreciated it. I really appreciated it. I don't know if they found somewhere. I don't know. If if anybody knows anything about that, I would love to know why, just because I'm nosy. I will also say that I haven't had a meeting, and maybe it's just me being thrown off and everything. There's the Association of Winnow, and I don't remember when we meet or anything. I just know I show up and nobody else shows up. So I'm wrong. And one of the things that I wanted to just kind of put out there is, I think I said before that I've been trying to kind of dibble and dabble in environmental justice and put together partners of the agency that I work for with, in the way we basically earn our money, is through managing projects for state and some different county agencies. But I was given the advice that with the expansion of 695 I-70, whatever we have going on there, I had an opportunity to meet with MDOT. Is he the head? He's acting somebody. They were going through some changes there. And I was explaining to them about their outreach, or my perception of their outreach of that project. And yes, they have a really great web page. They send out mailers every now and then to keep us updated. But their communication they would like for the community leaders to just kind of spread the information out through the community. And what I explained to them was that that's difficult because we have no idea what they're talking about. And they give us things like, hey, play with this tool and let us know how you think you might want it to look. When in reality, I personally would know what to explain to Edmondson Heights. I just wouldn't know. And on the one hand, I was trying to get some work out of it too. But so that I could explain it, just get some work out of it so that I could be able to explain it. And I just said that the people that were holding the meetings weren't as relatable as I hope that they should, especially for it to be that they should be doing environmental justice work. And with environmental justice, we are what is considered an EJ community, environmental justice deprived community. And it just kind of, well, it's what it sounds like, that there's injustices and things that we're not focused on when it comes to, we're not given as much information when it comes to the environment. We're not given options. We're not given, we just, it's all over Maryland. There's a map and it's amazing. And we're just right there. And one of the things to bring it back, because I did that the long way, was I was told to, if they're going to do something, if say this state agency, MDOT, they're going to do something here, have a project here, and it's going to inconvenience us, we have the right to ask them, what are you going to do for us for inconveniencing us? And I had to think of, just kind of off the cuff, what was an environmental issue in our neighborhood, and expand the community. And I thought about noise pollution and the noise from the racing that happens. So one of the things that I'm gonna kind of stick to is saying, I want to speak with the Glen Oak Association, but because we have the right to ask for this and we're all affected by it. So I want to get Mr. Luke Meyer of MDOT, and who used to be a coworker and now he's the head of something that's amazing. But this is something they could, and it happens basically, that this is something they could do for us for inconveniencing us. So we're playing a long game on that one. So just kind of will stay tuned. But then this summer we had very little sound and very little racing, and so thank you whoever made that happen. But if you guys can think of environmental issues that affect our area, the bigger area like Glen Oak, if you guys can think of something, I definitely advocate for it. So I'm open, let me know what you think. So that is that. That was another thing is that I think I told you guys before, I have had Edmondson Heights added to the list of supporters for speed cameras in Baltimore County's residential areas. I think we did discuss that it's just not necessarily allowed, but there are little caveats, and we do fall into the caveat. If there's a school near us, we have a school in the community, but I did want to support, still wanted to give the support there. And, we do have the issue with cars are being torn up because people are just racing through here, and you can hardly see stop signs sometimes, and some people just, but whatever we can do to get people to slow down is is where I stand on that. My understanding, I heard from Mandy Ramel of the County Executive's Office, and I want to say Mrs. Stokes also, about I was told that there would be a look into at least that corner of Forest Park and Harwell, where people keep running that stop sign there. Not sure if it happened or what came of it, but it is an issue. I haven't spoken to Ms. Ramel yet in a while either. So I would like to say that it's something that's, it's nothing's going to happen overnight. So that's where we are with that. So basically, let you guys know that people, it's in here. It's on the page. It's being looked at.
Your request, are you saying a stop sign has been removed, knocked down, or being added?
No, it's being overlooked. People run it. And
Oh, the police.
accidents
Oh, okay.
yeah, and people run it. And I did get to see it for myself, and I did get to see like some aftermath of it, torn up vehicle, just kind of but I did get to see that for myself. But people are running it. And I've seen it while walking the dog and all of those things. But yeah, it's been the topic of a lot of concern.
Uh-huh.
So I'll have to speak with, I know Mandy's plate is really full, so I'll speak with her about that when on a long list of things I'll talk to her about. So while I'm there, I'm going to move to my agenda. It's all over the place, y'all, but excuse me. I'm going to go to a couple of months ago.
Really quick, before you go into your agenda,
Yes,
where's
ma'am.
the stop sign at Jaquista?
Harwell and Forest Park.
Harwell and Forest Park.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
It's bad. And I've seen it, and my dog likes to stop in the middle of the street and look around and stuff, and that's just not the place to do it. But yeah. That's where it is.
Jaquista, it's not just on Harwell and Forest Park. It is also Harwell and St. Agnes.
Right. That's what we're supposed to. When I reached out, it said that the previous president, Quentin Stevens, he reached out also, and they were. The association was told at the time that we needed to get a petition. And that's still what we need, is a petition.
A petition for what?
For traffic, what do we call it? Traffic correction.
Okay.
So as we need a petition for that. Only time I'm out of the house, go into the car.
So you just go on the website and you download the traffic calming application. You have to get the signatures from the community and then submit it to traffic and engineering to try and get that qualified. Where are the speed humps trying to go?
Harwell.
On Harwell.
There's Harwell and St. Agnes. And we thought, let's see, Harwell there were three. Harwell and St. Agnes.
Granville.
Yes, Granville and Harwell and that's not Newfield. Harwell and
so you pretty much want traffic calming throughout the Harwell Road.
That's where I'm getting the complaints about along Harwell, and there's definitely we've talked about Granville because with the traffic calmers when they were installed and doing all these great things on Forest Park, those people are deviating and going and speeding down Granville.
Mm-hmm.
So, and which is just as bad. It's just as bad. Because you get to that corner there, and if you don't take time to stop and see, you're definitely gonna run into something. That's a scary corner there to me.
So the best thing to do is just download the traffic calming application. The petitions are attached to it.
Yeah.
Get the signatures and just submit it. And once you get the signatures, and the ball can get rolling. They kind of changed the procedure now. They want the signatures first. Then they'll do the testing, or they'll lay out the counters and do the count.
Okay,
so it's just under Baltimore County MD.gov, and then just go under traffic calming.
Okay. So I think because the board this fall will be doing the covenant violations because we are so overdue on those that we'll just start. Actually, we have a shredding event coming up. Shredding event is on 9/23. Guys, it's on my agenda. I was coming back around to it, but 9/23 between 10 o'clock and noon. We're having a shredding event. The intention was to have a dumpster day with it, but but that'll just have to be later. Yeah, we're getting rid of trash and clutter, a little bit at a time, the best way we can. So we will, and because the newsletter is nowhere near ready, we'll probably do.
Fall short of days.
We'll probably put together like we did for National Night Out and do the postcards, which was it's good in a pinch, I tell you. So I know some people, I didn't get my postcard because I sent one to me to see how long it takes to get them, and it shouldn't have taken that long, but yeah, we'll send the postcards out again. That'll be no biggie. For Shred Day, September 23rd. Also, because I'm there, and that's post office talk, I apologize to everybody about getting your dues payments returned to you. I did not know. We lost our P.O. box. And we have it now, but I didn't know. And I would just go to check the mail, and there would be nothing in there. And eventually I went, this makes no sense. And I went to the post office to ask about it, and that was the day my key didn't fit. We were very lucky that we've had this box for a long time, and it was kind of set it, they blocked it from anyone buying it. And we were able to get back in there, and a nice young a nice young man at the post office jimmied it, not literally, and we got our post office box back. I had a little bit of a paper route this summer picking up those checks. I was fine with it because it was, it was no one's fault, it was ours. So if you know of someone, or if you still have a check that's returned to you, I will come and get it before or after work. Drop it in your mailbox. We'll work on it. I'll try not to scare you like I did Miss Bronzella. I think Miss Bronzella thought I was about to rob her. But yes, I went, I picked all of them up. I called it my paper route. I did not mind doing it. That was totally on us. But we have it back now, and things are better. We do need a new treasurer. Our current treasurer is.
What is it?
Who is this?
Oh,
Who is this? Are you raising your hand, or what's going on?
Whoever DB is needs to mute their mic. Thank you.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out you. Thank you. Where was I? Yeah, we have the P.O. box again. We do need I've been kind of taking over the treasurer's duties, our current treasurer, and he's still current because I will not let him quit. I don't have time for him to quit. So I've been taking over those duties, and we lost the P.O. box because I didn't know that we owed on it. So I'm on it now. We're good. If you know somebody who has some treasurer experience, some CPA experience, may want to try to do some volunteer work for a civic organization and try to get a little bit of help on those student loan payments. I think we qualify for that. Not help on student loan payments, but student loan forgiveness. My bad. We're not paying anything. Speaking of not paying anything, what is that? The alleyway of Newfield. We've talked about Bunk Alley. We've talked about it. And I think there's I want to make it clear. The issue that was my belief with Bunk Alley, which I think it's the 1200 block of the alleyway of Newfield, and the property adjacent to the Edmondson Heights homes are the property of private residents on Prince George's Street, Prince George's. And I've put it in the newsletter that I did do as I said I would do. And I reached out to a contractor to see how much they would charge us to kind of clean a little bit of that up. But they're not willing to go onto they're only willing to go maybe 2 feet across the alley. The rest, they are not willing to go onto private property. I am perfectly fine with that. The parts that they said they would do, this was maybe a year ago, and I brought it to you guys. They said $5,000, and we all said no here. I was here when it happened. We all said no. So there's also, I guess, tree branches or something hanging. That is not, I would not offer to pay for something that doesn't benefit the majority. I wouldn't not bring it to you guys. I would not bring it to the board. I think there was, I'm pretty positive there was some kind of miscommunication, because if there's something I wouldn't pledge my money, my personal money to, I wouldn't pledge the association's money to. So whatever's hanging, whatever branches is there, it is the problem of whoever finds it to be a nuisance, and or they need to talk to whoever the homeowner is over there. Don't know. That's my stance on it. I did write a letter I did look up who the homeowners were on Prince George's and said to them that there's an issue. We have Edmondson Heights residents complaining about the overgrowth in the alleyway. I had 2 people reach back out to me and say that they would be mindful of their part of the alleyway. And I think those 2 people had the least bit, the least part of the alleyway. But I would not say or have said that, yes, Edmondson Heights would pay to get trees trimmed or these inconveniences just because someone doesn't want to look at it or it doesn't benefit a great deal of, we can't do for one and not do for most or all. We can't do that. That is it. I will not talk about that tree, that branch, maybe not even that alleyway anymore. The alleyways are the property of the homeowners. We are responsible for that individually, not we as an association. We're responsible for that. We're all responsible for how our properties look. And if our neighbor's property looks bad, our properties look bad. If our alleyway looks bad, our property looks bad. That's ours. I mean, to bend down and pick up something and throw it in the trash, it is not beneath any of us. Not that, no, it's not beneath me, so it shouldn't be beneath anybody else. Because my knees crack and my back hurt when I bend down. So, and I also have one of those sticks where you can pick stuff up. So we can do that. It's ways to pick up, and we don't have to have trash. We don't have to deal with that. We don't have to accept it because some people don't want to do maintenance or don't want to do it. I walk with doggy bags in one hand and a Safeway bag in the other hand. And as I'm walking, I might pick up trash every now and then, but I don't want to either. But I want to live in a trashy neighborhood. I pay my money here. Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to show you my doggy bags and it's a Target bag. But speaking of doggy bags and Target bags, because I just keep me rolling. Doggy bags and Target bags. Treasury needed, got that. If anybody is, the association has discussed two things when it comes to pet waste. I think we discussed it. Don't make me lie. Pet waste. We believe me, nobody wants to step out and there's on the dog poop on the lawn. Nobody, nobody wants to. It's disgusting. The responsibility of having a dog is having dog poop. It's a responsibility. I have learned that. I've also learned that dogs gonna pee and dogs gonna poop. And I will tell you that I cannot stop my dog from peeing on your tree, but I try my best to stop him from peeing on your from pooping on your lawn. And I do clean it up. Everybody does not do that. And that's a problem. And it's causing bigger problems. I don't know if some of you are aware, but there was someone on Ingleside who was putting something out and poisoning dogs because the dog owner wouldn't clean up behind the dog. That person, I found out about it after my dog, the barking authority, he barked a lot. But after he had been poisoned, and I'd heard that it was happening to other dogs too. So it wasn't just a trend. It's somebody on Ingleside. I posted on Nextdoor that I would send a letter to the homeowners on that street. Just kind of I wasn't really sure what I was gonna say, and I couldn't write it out of being angry or malice or anything like that. But I just said, hey, I'll send a letter. And the person who was doing this sent me a letter to my house and gave me, as I like to refer to it, as some unsolicited legal advice. And if I'm gonna send a letter, then I need to do this, and this. As a person who also likes to threaten people with made up legal advice, I am not paying attention to them. And I thought that if Edmondson Heights will be getting pet waste stations, I had to think on a lot of stuff and figure out how we do it and all of these things, but we'll be getting pet waste stations. We have to figure out where to put them. We know that one will be on the grounds of Edmondson Heights Park. I think the thought is that we will get 4. I have to speak to the board, and I guess the elementary school, but I'm thinking that one on the school grounds would be a good place for one also. A meeting that I attended at the school, that was one of the concerns of the children of Edmondson Heights School. It was like, can you pick up behind your dog? That's where they play. That's where the kids play. But that's also where there's enough space for people to take the dogs and maybe let them off the leash a little bit. So I thought one there would be nice. While figuring out where the other 2 could possibly go, I think a small station, not even a station, just bags can go on that block on Ingleside, even if it has to come out of my own pocket, because I just don't think that's something that's fair. And we didn't know what was wrong with Thor at the time, but they're hurting pets for something that's the problem of homeowners. If anyone has any ideas about where we can kind of strategically put these pet stations, I am here for it. And I learned that there are companies, because one of the things the board discussed was who's gonna empty these pet waste stations, because they have the bags and they have the kind of the waste dispenser at the bottom. And there are companies who do this. There is a job for everything. There are companies who empty pet waste stations. It sounds affordable. It's within whatever our budget would be. It basically doesn't sound expensive or outside of what I'd be willing to pay. So we can do that. I also would like it just kind of, there are homeowners who have,
Thank you.
homeowners who have signs out asking that people pick up behind their dogs. And I thought that we would piggyback on that, and maybe we could put some signs out also. Where to put them, maybe on the end of blocks, I'm kind of not sure. And I kind of want to put it out there that if someone would like one, we're not putting them in your yard per se, but across the sidewalk from the yards, because I feel like that's fair. If anyone would like one, and that would help us kind of gauge how many to buy and what to actually do with these and just put them out. I think it's fair. I will also say that my dog pees on those. He is petty like that. I will also, that is that, like to say that alleyways, I saw on one of our social media outlets that there's a kind of we have issues with parking. We have that anyway. For me, I encourage parking pads. I encourage those. I look for people who are capable of creating parking pads. I look for these things so that I can pass this information on to everybody else. Because I think parking pads are, I can put 2 vehicles tightly on my parking pad. But I think that's a little bit of the answer. And it may be cheaper than just moving and buying another house. I don't know. But I don't know if everyone would be willing to get permit parking. I don't know about that. I don't know. I can research it. I can research it. What I did hear suggested was that we change the parking to one-way parking, and what do they call it? I don't know. We have one-way parking on the different streets, and everyone pull in and have a certain number of parking spaces. Writing down research parking permits. I will look into that. Thank you. But yeah, if we can, as a whole, if we can just kind of our speeding, our in the alleyways, on the front ways too. But if we can kind of look out, because I know that behind me the kids play. Kids play in the alleyway, and a lot of them they play in their yards. But when I'm coming home in the evenings, the best thing for me to do is just kind of slow down, because you never know when a ball is going to go rolling into the alleyway or something. We just really have to. I mean, we live in townhomes, so not everyone. We don't have these huge yards where the kids can play. And I mean, I would like to keep the kids a little bit happy while they can be happy, and before they turn 12 and start not going to jail for. I'm sorry. I watch the news in the morning. But yeah, if we can just watch our speed, in the alleyways and the frontways. We just watch our speed, reduce our speed a little bit. There is, I don't know what that means. I think I know what that means. I want to say that I'll start with, I was on the meeting we had in Edmondson Heights Park a couple of, maybe 2 months ago. Miss Margaret, you still here? You should help me speak on that one. We had a meeting, and as you all may be aware, and if you're not kind of living near the park, you may not necessarily, may not listen fully on it, but we have this park, and Parks and Rec doesn't necessarily consider it a park because it doesn't have amenities. And if you don't look hard enough, because I had no idea, people say the park, and I thought it was that corner of, I literally thought it was the corner of Harwell and Granville. And I was like, I don't see what the problem is. But there's actually inside of there's an actual field. It's when it's maintained, when the grass is cut, it's beautiful. It's about a block, 2 blocks, maybe a block of space going on there, and it's covered by trees. And we have our county councilman's office. I say his office, but I mean, I'm just gonna say Ms. Margaret Stokes got these county professionals together and people who are responsible for maintaining and paying attention to us on the issue of this park, because it's been overlooked. It's overgrown. Just not a lot of love has been given to it. I thought it was a great green space, and I look at it as an opportunity, as with everything, to increase our property value. Even though some of us are not moving, some of us who are would like to get more money, more bang for our buck. And the park it's beautiful. It's a beautiful space. I'd like to see it used somehow, anyhow. So, and this is where I tell you, I reached out to, gosh, it was a long way to get to them, but Neighbor Space have agreed to take on this park. And Phyllis, are you here? I'll give you a minute. But I see this in the chat. I'm gonna come back to it because I need some help answering that one in the chat. But different county agencies came out along with Councilman Young, Margaret Stokes. We had property management out there. Not Parks and Rec, but they came and actually took a look. They took a look to see what we're talking about. And the park itself, there's lighting that's needed just for a sense of safety on the parameters of the park. We said not on the inside because we don't really want it to be more of a hangout place for people who need privacy. So some of you may have seen different trucks pulling into the park and not knowing what they're doing. We asked that they clear the entrance. I guess there's an entrance from Forest Park in, what is that, Sunset or Granville? There's an entrance there. We asked that they clear it. So if you see them, you've seen them on that corner. I think that's what they're doing. They're clearing that space. And the purpose for asking for that was so that kids from Edmondson Heights Elementary School, they can use this park as like field days, and for their science curriculum that will now have the environmental aspects in it added to their curriculum. So they're going to need access to the park, and they're very fortunate to have this park, but they need to be able to get into it. And we'd like to have at least a part of it turned into an outdoor classroom where they can really, because if nobody's using it, they can be using it. And it's also used, it's there so that the deer and wildlife, you know, they have refuge, they have water, not bobcats or anything like that. We're not going to have anything out there eating the kids. But so I am happy so far with what the plan is, and the plan is so far to just kind of take the park in halves, and they're going to work on it in halves. And there's plans for the vines that are growing and dying. There's plans to thin out the greenery so that it feels a little bit, it feels safer being down there, because right now you really can't see down there because there's so much overgrowth. I'd like to see moving forward how we'll be able to use it. I did neighbor space. They are looking into not just kind of, we'd like to see the county do what they're going to do with the park, and have all of the agencies, including neighbor space, Be Green, that's a bigger part of neighbor space, and have them collaborate. And if there's neighbor space, if they're willing to work not just with the park, but with the neighborhood. So we want to see there's a certain amount of funding that they'll have available. So we want everything to spread. We want to use every dime of everything that we can, and not be overlooked, and not, you know, where there is help, we want to accept the help, and we want to use it wisely. And we're gonna need the community to help, and they're willing to bring people from other neighborhoods to help us beautify our neighborhood. And I don't think that's, I don't want that to be necessary. I want us to care enough about our neighborhood. I want us to sweep our curbs. I want us to care enough to bring the property values up, to make it look better, to create something that we all feel better about coming home to it. You know, you come home to a piece of a plastic bag flying in your yard, and you go, oh, these people. No, you people too. Pick it up, take it in the house, throw it away. We want it to look cared about. We want to care about it, and I don't want other people coming in and doing what we're not willing to do, because then what's the point? So that is that. I was surprised to see a chain across the path into the Dale of the park. I'm going to tell you, I don't know what a Dale is, but is that near the stream, Susie?
The Dell's the field in the lower level of the park.
If there's a chain, then they're doing something.
I didn't realize that was a problem. I mean, I didn't know that anybody was complaining about people driving down in there. I was wondering what was up.
What, you know, they have to get their trucks and their equipment down there.
Yeah.
Why the chain? I don't remember from that meeting, but if they say so, okay. Another thing with that is that we've been asked to work with the county agencies so that they can have access to the parks. And this is us asking residents to move their vehicles up to make sure that there's access to the park. We said that there would be signs, and we put out whatever we needed to put out. We needed advance notice, and we needed to do reminders and this whole thing. So we're looking for, I know that this meeting right here is not the totality of, Harwell, Granville, and Forest Park. It's not the totality of it, but we will need to just kind of nudge people a little bit firmly on moving their vehicles so that we can get things done. I've decided I'm okay with people being upset with me and being the go-between between you guys and a problem. I'm okay with people being upset with me. So if I have to say, hey, can you please move your vehicle, well, the way I do it anyway, then that's what we'll do, because there's no need in asking for help and asking them to come out and asking for things to be done, and we don't allow them the opportunity to do it. That is that I have in the chat. Okay, Susie took care of Susie. Does anyone look at the backyards with all the rock stones that are placed? I want to hear more about the rocks and stones in the alleyway that are placed in the yard to make a parking pad. The rocks are all out in the alley. I am glad they are attempting to make parking for themselves. If that is a bother, if it's a hazard, if there's something there, send me the real information and I'll see if we can say, I don't know what we can say. I don't know, but I'd look into it.
They can sweep the rocks back up into their parking pad. It's going to happen if somebody does it themselves. It's not done professionally.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's gonna. So if you send me the information, one also, never mind. No, I took a stroll through I took a drive through the alleyways this summer, and the backs of these homes, there's some really beautiful. There's some really beautiful homes we have here, more than I knew. So yeah, I think the rocks, they're gonna happen. We can say, hey, can you sweep your rocks? I don't know, but let me know and I'll put it on my list of things to chew on, and I'll chew on it. I like to chew. The parties. I did hear that there was a party in the parking lot of the school. A couple of days ago, or a couple of weeks ago, I would have said they need a permit, they need permission, they need these things. And when I looked into it, I didn't see where that permission was needed anymore. I think it's facility management. I didn't see because I would always, when we use it for dumpster day, I would always get permission. They put it on the calendar and everything, and I always get permission. And I went to look for that, and I didn't see where permission was needed anymore. I didn't see it on the list. I'm gonna assume that there was trash left over. That whoever these people were didn't clean up behind themselves, and maybe didn't use great etiquette. Officer Benz Clark, would we have you guys called for something like that? The party being held, I guess this is the second year in a row that I know of that a party has been held in the parking lot of Edmondson Heights Elementary School. I know that last year, yeah.
For as far as the music and stuff would go, yes, you would. If it was a noise complaint, yes, you would call, but you will want to report that to Baltimore County Recs and Parks, because they would be the ones who would know if the permit was pulled and if they have the right to be there.
Right.
Even though it's a schoolyard, they still, if they have groups come, because sometimes they have groups that they give permits to that may play on the baseball field at
Right.
Southwest or soccer or whatever it may be. So
Okay.
Rex and Park would know.
Okay. Okay, that's the answer to that. Overall, permission needs to be needs to be given to use the parking lot. It needs for the whole field over there, actually. Yeah. And I looked, like I said, when we use it, we usually get permission, and I just didn't see where that was on the list of things that we needed permission to be obtained anymore. Writing it down again. Yeah, we've had this is the second year for that. There's been, I think it was during COVID though, when there was a party in the Triangle, or I don't know, but I think some of
They
these
should
things.
still, it's county property, it's not public property, so they should still need permission to be over
Okay.
there. I
Okay.
can check with Rex and Parks tomorrow to see if they even know that there's people partying on the school grounds, right?
Okay. 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 That's why I just wrote that down. That was last Saturday. Okay, I'm on that. Who do you call to verify if, well, there you go, Parks and Recs for the permit. I don't know what to do about that, except for that, and then I'll ask Park and Rec, how do we proceed with it? What I don't know, I'm always willing to find out.
Just curious, this is McCaskill.
Yes.
If it's Parks and Recs and it's after hours, I guess you should, especially if it's the weekend or whatever, I guess you should find out, because no one's going to be in Parks and Recs if you try to call and find out if there's a permit, and you won't even know until after the
Right.
weekend is over. So I guess finding out because I'm not sure if when they register, I know when I get my permits, I usually reach out to whoever the local police department is anyway for other purposes. But I'm not sure if they even coincide or communicate with one another that those, permits, those events are going to be happening in their specific district.
There is
Most of the time, they don't. Like I had because I also handle Southwest Academy area as well. So I had a complaint for loud music and partying over there. But when I contact Rex and Parks, they said it was a group that had a permit to use the baseball field for softball. So the music that they played during their games, which was disturbing the neighborhood. So I worked with Rex and Parks on that. So that's why I said I will call Rex and Parks tomorrow to see if anybody has a permit to be on Edmondson Heights. And if they do, who, so they can contact them and make sure they are following the rules and regulations.
And if not, there at least needs to be a sign out there that says permission is needed. I know that there's a calendar. If I could tell you where it was, I would. But I have to view the calendar. I think I need what is it called? Events manager, BCPS facilities, Division of Business Services. So yeah, facilities management. And I go through them, and I have to give them at least 30 days and the whole thing. They are not, well, I'm not gonna say they're not friendly. I'm not gonna do that. But she wagged that finger and she told me, no, don't rush me. I need at least 30 days. I'll even check with them and see as soon as I figure out again how to get into that portal. I have a lot of emails, email addresses, a lot of that stuff. So that's why, yeah. So yeah, we'll check with that. but we're allowed, but we need to get permission. The answer to that question. Yeah, we need permission. That's us, and then we need it when we're going to do it at the Edmondson Heights Park, because we have to get permission. Another question. Let's see the chain. The attorney. The attorney. Heights. Heights. What happened? Not what happened with the attorney. And some of you may or may not know, and I'll update you because it's been a whole summer. Edmondson Heights has worked, I don't know for how long or whatever, but when I came on board, we had an attorney, and the attorney was used to back us up, basically, when we needed to litigate, when we say, hey, you have covenant violations, and you go, I don't care, I'm not. So when we were ready to litigate, and basically to help us enforce the covenant guidelines. So we had an attorney for that. So when I took this position, it took me a minute to kind of get to it, but I was getting ready to reach out to the attorney, and I wanted to look him up first because I wanted to know who I was going to be talking to, who I was going to be dealing with. And what I read, he had articles on him, and I was not willing. I wasn't willing to work with this attorney, and I don't think he would have been willing to work with me. He was a Nazi sympathizer. He lost a job in Baltimore. Not sure if it was city or county. Not that it matters, but he lost a job because it was discovered that he was a Nazi sympathizer. So I thought, yeah, let me try to find us somebody else. Oh, this is not going to work for me. And I talked a couple of times to, his name is Heiss. And he actually used to live in Edmondson Heights. Where we are with him is we could pay him now and be his client and not necessarily have anything for him to do, or we can have something for him to do and pay him to do what we need, which is going to be to enforce at the moment, and most immediately, the covenant guidelines. That's what we worked out with him. However, he is not responding to me on what his cost is going to be. The first cost, the cost he did tell me initially, basically was to look over our paperwork, was going to be $1,600. So I had to bring that back to the board, and the board thought, maybe we can figure something else out. And I tried, and I didn't even want to come back to him, but roads led me back to him, and I think that's the direction we're going to go in, but we still need to get something where he says, this is the plan, this is how much we're willing to, we need you to pay us, me. That's where we are. If anybody knows an attorney, I'm willing to talk to them also, but I will have you know that I did go through, I went through a lot of channels, and I kept coming back to him. A lot of attorneys didn't even call us back. We got referrals from, I think, Baltimore School of Law. I think that's what it was called. Got referrals, none of them. And I am a big proponent on, I am not going to beg you to take my money. That is me, and I'm not going to beg. But he is willing to take on the work. He is familiar with us. Like I said, he lived here. He grew up here, basically. And yeah, I like to use, whatever we do, I like to put money back into our neighborhood. He's not quite in it. He was in Catonsville, but anything I do, I like to put it back into the neighborhood. Bring it out, put it back in. That's the answer to the attorney question. I want to say that National Night Out, those of you who came, Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Officer Vince Clark. You slid in there, but you came, and I really appreciated that. We were we were kind of working. No, it was a lot of work, and it was each year we kind of struggle with, are people coming, are they not coming, what do we buy, what do we, and how do we encourage people to come, how do we twist your arm, make you come, how can I make you guilty, make you feel guilty and come, how can I do all of these things. Basically what we're doing, we're using dues money, and we are putting it into, we don't have to, because we could be doing Citizens on Patrol, and they could be they could be helping us with that. But you guys didn't feel Citizens on Patrol the way I thought you would. But so we had a great time. The board looked into how do we improve it next year. This year was great. You would have seen us out there in our Edmondson Heights shirts, so you would know who we were, and we wanted you to be able to identify who is on your board. So well, we look good out there. I'm just gonna let you know we look good. If you missed it, we did look good out there. I tell you. We had we had our vice president, Ms. Angela Lloyd, who I should have kind of called her name a long time ago in this meeting, but is stepping up here for me in ways that I don't know. Thank you. The cookout, the national night out was all her. It was great. She stepped in. She said, "What do we need? What are we doing?" And she made it happen. And I was glad we shut down at a decent time. We weren't shutting down by headlights this time of the car. And we wanted more food to be gone. We had less food left over than we did the year before. We want y'all to come out and eat. We had people come out and they brought their chairs and sat out. And it was really, like, we really did better. We just want each year for it to get better. We want you guys to come out. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to meet us, get to know us. This way you get to see who else is on the board, and you can tell that person, hey, it's a problem over here too, because I get all of that. Which that's my job. That is my job, but the help is needed. So we had to put us in shirts. So we want you guys to know who we are and that we're not a ghost board or anything like that. But yeah, we gave out, our theme this year was nighttime safety. And we had flashlights. We had real flashlights. We had some good flashlights. And they were the kind you could kind of have in your car. You can feel safe walking from the car it was really good. We had some more of the motion sensor lights. I know I said I have mine on my porch, and I have a couple on my fence out back. Yeah, we had some sausages. The sausages were good. Some even burned a little bit on one side the way people liked them. The grill master don't like burning hot dogs, but we give you what you ask for. But it was a good time. And when people show up, I think I'm a person who I don't expect people to show up for me. So when people don't show up and I go, hey, this is what we're doing, we got all this stuff going on for you, and you don't show up, and I go, I knew they wouldn't. I knew it. So we had the year where we had the school supply, and we don't tell people on purpose what the giveaways are going to be. Because some people come, get a giveaway, and leave. Some people come from a different neighborhood, and they'll get it and they'll leave. No, I want you to sit down, eat your food, and talk to people. I just want things to be happening. In whatever our way is, we need to communicate. I cannot do this job without all of us. And I need us to peep out of the window and look out every now and then. I want us to hear a noise and look, I can't do this by myself. If you knew how crazy I was already going, you would be amazed. So just take a little bit of it off of me. I need all of us to just kind of work together. And as Ms. Delegate McCaskill said, you know, you don't have to do this by yourself, right? And you're not doing this alone. No, I'm not doing it alone. I am looking to, in the upcoming year, I'm looking to do some streamlining with the board. I want to put this degree I have to some kind of use, and just kind of divide up some of the duties that I have, and other people can kind of pay on the board, can pay closer attention to those things, and we just kind of report back to each other, and then we report back to you. That is what's going to be the better way to do it, because I is tired. So I love the job. Don't think that I don't. I love the job. Y'all can pay me what my job pays me. I do it. I'm here to tell you. But it's a lot, and we're just going to streamline a little bit. And I have kind of put it out there that we are looking for new board members, and we want, by the end of the year, if you're interested. I winked and nodded at a couple people, tapped them on the shoulder a little bit, said, hey, I like what, you know, the conversations that we have. I like what you have in your brain, and would you like to join? We want to do, I'd like for us to have a beautification committee. We have some beautiful lawns here. I'd like to be able to do that. I'd like to be able to maintain like our signs and our signage and things better. I'd like to have some please do not litter signs. I'd like to have some pick up behind your dog signs. And a lot of stuff doesn't get done because it's me that it comes to, and I don't know who to delegate it to. The green ribbons mean that the green ribbons are for, glad you mentioned that too. The green ribbons, the rat eradication program, we're in the midst of it. It's an 8-week program, so you guys may see somebody walking through now. They might put a ribbon on or something, but that's a note to the next round of someone who's coming through. So it, like I said, it's about 8 weeks, and anything that we do, this is something, it's not going to be, again, it's not going to be overnight, and we're gonna have to wait to see progress. Kirkwood, I know the rats are eating y'all alive back there, but yeah, those vehicles that y'all wanted ticketed, but you didn't want to move your vehicles, that's the problem. Well, that's a big problem there, because now the rats, if there's abandoned vehicles, the rats have a place to make nests and make babies and do all of those things. And Kirkwood said that no, we maintain that area. That area is not maintained, and I don't know, it's not maintained, and it's a problem. With that being said, we had a board meeting last week, and there have been suggestions for the board to kind of find ways to be more stricter. I'm going to go with more strict. And with figure out ways to tighten things up a little bit. And one of the things that's been with trash in the alleyways, trash can lids, people who don't store their trash properly. And there was a suggestion on the board that we send out notifications when we get them, when we say, CJ, that we send out notifications and say, hey, there's a problem and it's coming from your yard. Can you do this? And maybe send this out, or maybe say, hey, we've reported you. We've reported you to code enforcement. This is the problem. I thought that one thing that we could do with that, speaking of, yeah, one thing that we could possibly do with that is just to keep me from trying to write letters off the top of my head and figure out sweet ways to say bad things, is to just kind of create a form, and we can just check it off and go, this is the problem at this residence, and send those out. So it's not personalized. It's not, hey, this residence, here's the problem that we have going on here. And we can take those and send those to landlords who live off of the property. It, again, is going to take the board working together and the community working and reporting these things. So that's because that would mean we'd have to be on patrol. So we would have to all work together to get this done. We'll try to put that in a newsletter somehow and keep everybody up to date on it. Yes, yes. GChat should be helping me with the newsletter too. That's how I learned about GChat. Somebody said use this chat for the newsletters. So yeah, we wanted to, I mean, I think it's fair. I don't want to add more work to us. I don't want us to go around and I don't want us to go around and we snooping through people's trash and stuff and going, you're trash. I don't want to do that. So that's something that we're gonna be working on doing. We're gonna work on that, and it's gonna take a minute. But like I said, if we work together and we figure out the things that we need to figure out, then that's something that could be possible. I got new members, said that we need new members. Spoke about National Night Out in the park. And does anybody have anything? Got any questions? Yeah, those rats and those vehicles, it's not, there was TJ, it says TJ. Were you the one who reached out to Infome? Infome? Okay. I remember some stuff. Thank you for that. Because it was becoming an issue. Did we hear anything about, does he have any suggestions? My suggestion is that we call the police and have them say, hey, there's these abandoned vehicles out there, and let the chips fall where they may. And then that's when we get to, I think it'll be property. I find out if it's property management or SHA and have them do the maintenance that's supposed to be done there. Because we can't not have that maintenance done, and we can't have people want to park there, but they don't. It's complicated. I knew it sounded complicated when I heard about it a while ago, and now it's just complicated, and it's caused a nuisance because I've gotten a lot of calls and emails and text messages about the 1400 block of Kirkwood and the rats there. I did send an email. I actually sent it to Margaret Stokes and said that there were complaints about people from with the rat eradication program just seeming to not do anything, just kind of walk in and putting ribbons and not really looking or doing any kind of she said she reached out to the head Adam Whitlock, code enforcement, and we have a couple other people she reached out to there, and hopefully we can start seeing a difference. Yeah, but I know that you guys will let me know if there's no difference. And my thing that I did for my own rat eradication, no rats, they didn't even take the bait or nothing. I mean, these are well-fed rats. They do not want my little trash. So again, I just went through my entire list. I went through my entire list, and it's from the whole summer. So I'll work on shortening it. Those are things we're going to work on throughout the year, and bring them up so that we can be held accountable for these things. Regarding the car on Claridge and Newfield. Okay. Yes. Officer Benz Clark. Yes. She's my go-to. She's my go-to. So
Yes.
yeah, with the what is it said? They got in touch with you about a car on Claridge and Newfield. And there was a car on the 1400 block of Barrett. And I walked up there and there was so many citations on it. And eventually it was gone. So everything that happens around here, I think, oh, that's Officer Benz Clark. Every car I see, that's Officer Benz Clark. So thank everyone on behalf of us, but it's Officer Benz Clark for me. Any other cars, those Penske trucks, I've seen those start to disappear. There's one on still, is it Claridge or Langford? It shows up. It's a yellow Penske truck, and it's usually at the top of the 1500 block of, we'll say Claridge, because I actually have a picture of it somewhere. But I'm gonna keeping an eye out on that. By the time I'm done walking the dog, when he's done walking me, and by the time I get home, I forget.
Bequeath the Penske truck. Just send it to me in an email.
I sure will.
Thank you.
I surely will. So there's been two then, because there's one that's yellow and there's one that's white. I took a picture of it, but I sure will. I surely will. If is there anything in the community you guys need to know about the I don't think so. But I'll still keep my eyes and ears open, and I'm still open to there's an email about an empty property with a lot of bugs in it. I'm just gonna say bugs because I haven't eaten dinner yet. Email that to me again. I think Rosa, you know who that person is. If you can have them emailed to me again, so it'll be on the top of my email and I can work from there.
Okay.
It'll get done sooner.
Okay.
Yeah, just so they'll let me know and I'm on it. Also, otherwise, I've heard that there's a lot of abandoned bikes. I heard that a church gave out bikes this summer, and I really hope that those are not the bikes that are just laying around, not moving, and nobody's doing. Because now I'm gonna have me a bike. So, if there's anybody whose kid is missing a bike, there's one on the bottom of the 1400 block of Barrett Road. It's a red bike. I posted it on our Facebook page. All the exercise I need, I'll get me a bike. You know me. Be sitting right here in my backyard. So other than that, I'm done. Does anybody have anything? Going once? Well, if you do, and if you have something that you want on next month's agenda, let me know. If there's something that you email me about and I think it's an issue overall, I'll put it on the agenda for next month also. Our next meeting is the first Tuesday in October, which is going to be October the 3rd at 7:30. I appreciate you all for showing up. Thank you very, very much. Like I said, you know where I am if you need me, sitting right here. Good night, Miss Franzella. Thank you for showing up for me. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you, Chiquista.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Oh, I got dinner too. All right.